that it's part of what education's all about. So, that's a breakdown on the user fee, and with a target of $400,000, I think it would be difficult for me not to recommend some level of increase in user fees. So I'm recommending an increase in the athletic user fees, where the format of that would be determined, but to yield $35,000 of new revenue. And I'm not sure yet how that would be distributed, but you can see one model would be to increase it, each scored by $50 would yield about $35,000.
I guess I would argue if we're going to increase that to 50/50, then the extracurricular after-school activity should also be raised. To me, what's fair is fair. I mean, because they're athletes, they have to pay a higher percentage, does not compute with me. So I think we need to raise both of those just to be fair.
Yeah. If it were 50% of the fee, of the amount, including the athletic director, then it would be apples to apples. I'm not sure that it isn't above the same percent without the athletic directors.
I think you need to have a clear policy, and we've always sort of used the 50/50, and I think it should apply to both user fee programs. And I also think we should look at the family cap. Raising the family cap.
I don't think it's unreasonable to raise the family cap if we're increasing it by 50 across the board to maybe to 1,100.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Again, I really haven't, I'm not making a recommendation on the structure of that. I think that's more discussion with the athletic subcommittee, but I'm targeting a dollar amount, and out of the $400,000 additional revenue that's needed, I'm targeting $35,000 for athletics. And you're suggesting
And we're
that.
suggesting that if you do it with extracurricular, you could add that 3,800 in addition.
I feel satisfied with that recommendation.
I am too.
Wait, I'm confused. Who's satisfied with what?
I'm satisfied with the recommendation the superintendent made about the athletic user fees. As
Okay.
far as the activity fee, it's only $3,000, but if everyone wants to make it 50% across the board, I agree with what Steve said too. You could,
Yeah,
depending on how you juggle things here, it could be a little bit, 48, 52%, 47, 53%. So
Yeah,
it's
how-
not a big deal with me on that.
How close is the extracurricular fee to covering 50% of the budget?
It's
Pretty
close.
close, right?
Pretty close if you're only
That
around
amount,
$50.
$37.50.
But is it like 48.52 right now, 47.53?
Yeah, it's 48.52 is about, quick math, only $3,000 off, with $3,700 off.
Well, I don't know what the total is.
The total cost is $125,000.
Okay.
I'd say this too, in addition to the user fees paying 50% of the cost of the athletic program, in addition to that, what people don't see are the various booster groups.
Right.
That contribute greatly to
Right.
the athletic teams. I'm talking about thousands of dollars, whether it's the touchdown club or the high school hockey boosters group. There's various groups that contribute equipment and uniforms and things like that, so.
Right.
The community, the parents, in essence, are already contributing more than what's on paper here.
Right,
Okay.
and all the capital projects that are done on our fields
Right.
are usually funded through boosters and outside.
Example, the baseball field project, I don't think we've spent any funds. That's all a private organization doing that.
I did not include any groundskeeping activities within the athletic budget either, by the way, and that amounts to
Right.
1.5 people, and a lot of supplies.
Okay, so
Or
we're really
gym
not,
class.
okay, so we're really not we're raising it to 50/50 if we don't include some things then. So then I'm okay with keeping the extracurricular fee as is, because we're really not bringing it up to 50/50.
Right now, we're talking about one of the things that we would do in a worst-case scenario.
Right.
And if we really find ourselves in a worst-case scenario, we might have to use more. But for right now, I think it makes sense to, I agree with Jerry, let's look at that 35,000 as a placeholder.
Right. Figure out how we can,
If we get,
right.
No,
Dave, you want to go into your recommended areas of potential reduction?
Not really.
Well,
Across one of the,
Well, let me work back up the list, and, again, keeping in mind that this list generates more than the 400,000, so it leaves room for discussion. In administration, I would reduce the administration by $8,500 by reducing the number of work days for the middle school assistant principal. Similarly, I would reduce a secretary, I'd say a secretary, talking about budget on these are all salary related, by combining the part-time secretary in curriculum and technology office with a part-time secretarial position in the pupil personnel office, would reduce $5,000. Another position would be to reduce custodial time. This at least might come from the high school, but the impact of that is that it's very likely that the 4 other schools, the 3 elementary and the middle school, would be closed one night a week, to allow a team of custodians to get in and clean that building.
because you can't close the high school, they run sporting
Right.
events.
I understand. So that's
Right.
why in order to do this, would require some kind of a rotational closing. I was really struck, by the way, in looking, you ought to take a look at Maine, what Maine is doing with their consolidation, and in that model of, I'd like to move our district to Maine, because in the custodial coverage for a school district of 2,500 students, there were about 8 more custodians
Wow.
than what we have here, so.
I've asked Mr. Fitzmaurice to give us a full report.
I really would like to see that. But in any event, moving on here, now we're into programs. And I've talked at length with the administrators about this. Their feeling is that we would be better off just eliminating certain programs and doing without. So one area that I would look to reduce is to further reduce the physical education and I say PE, I'm talking PE/health, and would be reduced in our high school and middle school. In fact, would be primarily in the high school.
Would we still meet our requirement
No,
though?
we would not. Well, our requirement, the state requirement is that you offer physical education. The state has moved away from certain required minutes, although I do know that there's a bill currently pending that would substantially increase the amount of physical education
Right.
time and also require the teaching of health education.
Right.
So we would not be in compliance with that. And this is very disturbing to me because a year ago I testified at the State House to increase the amount of physical education time that students of all levels have.
If they heard you, State
Yeah,
House
well,
apparently.
we'll see what happens. Maybe they'll go forward with that bill.
If they won't give us money.
Right.
So that's a position. Another area, we had 2 people who were supporting the use of technology, and we're down to 1. And so in some combination, I would look to eliminate that support from a teaching position, or to combine and eliminate 2 paraprofessional positions.
In the technology area.
Yeah, in the technology area. So that's not defined yet, but the targeted amount is 50,000. The next two areas would also target the middle school and high school, would be to further reduce music and art. This would require at the high school level to pull back from, if not eliminate, our fine arts requirement. And ultimately, what I'm getting here is that this will lead to a drop in the graduation
Graduation
requirements at the high school.
Yes.
And then ultimately, we'll look at students taking fewer classes or changing the schedule to accommodate that drop. And I don't know yet how we would do that. Because we see what happens when you have an impact of, say, 150 kids, you take out one physical education teacher, and then those students are looking for other places to sign up.
So you take out more and there's more kids
Well,
looking
you're driving
for-
up the class
Right.
size. So this would continue to erode the high school. I think at this point, if we pull those programs out of the middle and elementary school, not only would we be out of compliance for time and learning, as it seems like we're right on the brink on that anyway, we would also have even a more substantial problem with contractual, unless we renegotiate the contract, change the prep time.
Even if we lower the high school graduation requirements, there's a strong possibility we'll have students that will still choose an elective and choose to take 8 classes. So,
Or wouldn't be.
Wouldn't let them.
we wouldn't let them.
We would not let them.
That's much different.
The middle school, the next one is to drop a teacher, one of the core teachers in the middle school. You remember we added one in the 6th grade. We would assume that teacher would follow those students into the 7th grade to keep the same ratios.
Right.
What this proposal would do would be to eliminate it.
Is that extra position necessary for the incoming 5th grade?
I don't believe it's as high as it is in the 6th grade.
So you
that-
can follow that class
yeah.
right along to
Right.
7th, 8th.
Following,
Yeah.
okay.
Right. But what it would mean is that the class sizes for all 3 grades would be in that 27 to 30 range. The next one also affects the high school, reduces a business elective teaching position. And again, we require that the student for graduation take at least one, what was called school career or technical business area, so that will be gone. And then the last two, they're all, again, please don't understand that I'm sitting here making these recommendations with any level of, makes sense, it's the right thing to do, but you're up against a huge problem. $400,000 is no small amount. The last two would be to eliminate, phase it in over 2 years, but eliminates the French program. We would not have French 1, 2, or 3. We require our students to take 2 years in high school of a foreign language, so that if they've had French 1 and they've had French 2, that meets their obligation. So we don't need to offer another one for them. They can begin to study of Spanish. The reason this is slightly higher than 400,000 would be to do everything that I can to preserve that, at least at the upper level, and to begin phasing it out in the middle school. It isn't quite an easy trade, because we're not saying to a student, you can't take a foreign language, you will be able to take Spanish, which is the only language that we would offer. So of those students who elect to take French, the number is relatively small, those students would be taking Spanish, there would be no choice.
So wouldn't we have to add more staff then to accommodate?
Well, it depends on classes.
It depends on the
The size of the classes, the Spanish classes may not be totally full.
But I'm talking about if we had Spanish in the middle school.
Yeah, in the middle school, yes, in the high school, not necessarily.
we're running one French